In August 2010, my brother went missing. He was missing for pretty much 2 years. He was suffering with schizophrenia. He attempted suicide several times before he went missing. Then November 2011, this guy was out hunting with his dogs, and his dogs found a skeleton. We knew deep inside I was him, but we had to wait for the DNA results. July 2012, so nearly 2 years after he went missing, we had the confirmation that it was him.
How did you process 2 years not knowing where your brother is?
I was just distracting myself. I was going out a lot, getting drunk, just numbing myself.
In that time, did you ever seek any kind of therapy?
Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed a therapist then. It was only later, 2 years after the funeral, 4 years after he went missing.
Okay.
That's when I started having like panic attacks. At the start, I kept blaming myself for not helping, for not doing something for him, because I thought I could have done something and I didn't.
It's just hard when you never think that you're going to lose a sibling. You always think that, you're going to grow old together and you're going to, be in each other's lives.
Hey guys, welcome back to Grief Uncensored with Eloho. I have Andrea, you already know.
All right.
Hi.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you for coming. And I have Marley.
Hey.
Hi Marley.
Hey.
How are you feeling?
Very nervous.
That's fine. You have Andrea here. Yeah, Marley's really nervous, and I'm honestly very, very appreciative that you decided to come on my podcast. Like, honestly, we're both gonna keep crying, and that's okay. Thank you so much. I know this is a very difficult subject, especially the way your own grief has happened. I would just give you the space to share about your grief. And now you're making me nervous. I'm now shaking. But yeah, please, if you want to talk to us a little bit about your grief.
Okay. Where should I start? Should I start from like my childhood, my relationship with my brother, or where should I start?
Anywhere, it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way to start.
Okay, so
Or growing up.
yeah.
Okay.
So like we're kind of like a big family, I would say. So like my parents had like 5 kids.
Okay.
So we were 5 siblings. Growing up, I was closer to my brother and my younger sister because of the age gap. Like we're kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
Summer holidays, we would always be together, sometimes working in the farm, other times running away from my mom and like going to the beach without her knowing, And then I moved to London when I was 18.
Where did you move from? Where did you move from?
From Madeira Island, Portugal. And then I left most of my siblings behind and my family. I have a sister here that was already living in England, but I left my closest siblings back home, my brother and my younger sister. And so I moved to the UK in 2008, and then in 2010, 2010. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Sorry.
Yeah. In August 2010, my brother went missing. He was suffering with schizophrenia. So yeah, he was like suffering a lot. And he tried to, he attempted suicide several times before
he went missing. So when he went missing, we kind of knew that, that probably that's what he did. He, killed himself. So he went missing in August 2010. Then, we had everyone looking for him. We had the population looking for him. We had friends, family, everyone that you can possibly think of, the firemen, police, dogs. No one could find him.
Yeah.
And then, sorry. So he was missing. Well, he was missing for pretty much 2 years, I would say. So
Wow.
August 2010, he went missing. Then November 2011, this guy was out hunting with his dogs, and his dogs found a skeleton in the middle of, vegetation, in the middle of, I don't know how to explain, in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. And then, the firemen had to come and collect it. And I had friends working for the fire brigade, and they told me be ready because I think this is your brother. We knew deep inside I was him, but we had to wait for the DNA results. So that was, again, a few more months waiting. So in July 2012, so nearly 2 years after he went missing, we had the confirmation that it was him. And then, we finally could give him a funeral, and we could finally move on, if that makes sense, because during those 2 years was, 2 years of the unknown, not knowing where was he okay, what happened,
Yeah. Right. Please love me. No, I'm just going to let you get this.
Yeah, no, I'm good now.
So I can see that wasn't really close.
Sorry.
To speak about it. I can see that. I thank you for sharing that, because I know that was really hard for you. I think it's about having to think back all those years, and yet the loss is still very present. And what's going through your mind right now? Tell me what's...
It's just hard when you never think that you're going to lose a sibling. You always think that, you're going to grow old together, and you're going to, be in each other's lives.
Sure.
And now, he's not here. He can't see, who I've become. And it's tough because that was kind of taken away from you,
May I ask how old your brother was?
He was 23, and he was super intelligent. He was such a lovely guy. Everyone loved him. He had such a good heart. Yeah, it's just sad that
question about, what was he like, and
his
personality.
Yeah, he was just an amazing person. And yeah, it's just sad that, he became ill. And at first, we didn't really know what was wrong, We thought maybe he has depression, maybe he's because he was in uni, we thought maybe he's studying too much and he's having a breakdown.
Sure.
But yeah, it turns out he had schizophrenia, and, he had to take medication, but he didn't like to take medication. And at some point we thought, me and my siblings were we need to help him. We thought maybe we need to put him in how can I say, in a place where he can just be treated by doctors, or I don't know. But back then we didn't really know much about, mental health, and, to us that was something new. We had no idea how to deal with it.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest bit, isn't it? That, so you didn't, back then, 2010, it was really
you know, what do people do? You don't know what
Exactly.
what's all this mental stuff, you know. There wasn't as many resources then as there are now. Obviously with lockdown taking place and people being inside the house all the time, and it had affected a lot of people's mental health, and that's when it became very, you know, out there, and people wanted to know a bit more about it and what do we do to take care of ourselves. But it doesn't stop the fact that when this happened to you, you felt there was such a lack of it, and you wish you had more understanding. That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
I wish there was more understanding.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes I think now not anymore, because I don't know, I feel like I became a bit of a cold person since that happened. But at the start, I kept blaming myself for not helping, for not doing something for him, because I thought I could have done something and I didn't. You know, so that always played something in my mind. I mean, now I'm okay with it because, you know, I kind of forgive myself because I feel like I also didn't know better.
Yeah. But use the word cold. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that feeling of you saying you preferred?
I don't know. You know, I always joke with Eloho, you know, that I say that I'm not empathetic. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I became a bit colder as a person, you know. Like, things that happen in the world I don't feel like, oh my God, that's so sad. You know, for me to feel like that, it has to be something very personal, someone that I really know. Mm-hmm. But like my older sister, she's very empathetic. And like she sees on the news something tragic happened and she'll be like super emotional telling me, and I'll be like, yeah, that's life. This is how I am now, you know.
And you saying you were different before? You're just slightly different.
I think before I was, I was more empathetic before, I think. But to be honest, like, I feel like growing up, I grew up with losing people, you know, like my brother wasn't the first person that I lost. It was just the most, you know, the closest person to me that I lost. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't the first person. It's kind of like a, you know, cherry on top of the cake, if that makes sense.
Mm. Who have you lost previously?
Well, I've lost a cousin that she was my neighbor, and I was younger, and it was also very sudden, so that was quite harsh. Like, she was the mom of my cousin, so like she was still my cousin, but like, I don't know, third degree cousin, something like that, or second degree cousin. Mm-hmm. That was harsh. I lost my granddad. I lost a friend from school. He wasn't like close, like very close to me, but he was like my brother's age, so he went to my brother's class. And just a lot of people. Like, I remember when I was 7, I saw a dead person. Like, back, like, I'm from like a village, you know, like back in the days when people used to die. If they would die at home, the neighbors would go. And I remember one of my neighbors passed away, also like a tragic acid accident. Like, he was drunk and he fell and he hit his head. Mm-hmm. And my aunt took me, and I just saw this guy like on the floor, like dead. Mm-hmm. So like, I've always dealt with death, if that makes sense. And I just think like I became cold, but not from one event. Like, it's just like a, you know, chain of events, I'd say.
I want to take you back. So I know you mentioned your brother was ill. I don't know about that illness. What is
schizophrenia?
Yeah, what is that?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best person to.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's just, you know, it's very hard if you have schizophrenia, because you can go from one extreme to another and have all these suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, it's like hear voices.
Oh yes.
It's like not a physical illness.
No, it's not a physical.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a mental health illness. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like you hear voices that will tell you, kill yourself.
Really?
This, do that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And then you did mention that you said he attempted suicide previously.
Yeah.
How?
A few times.
Were you aware? Like, how did you see? Do you mind sharing? Like, did you see signs? What did he do?
I didn't see it myself because I was in London.
Oh, right.
And he was back
okay.
home.
Present, right. Okay.
But my mom would tell me, or my siblings would tell me. He tried to jump from a cliff, things like that.
Oh, okay. So, but when you heard that, did you like contact your brother? Did you speak to him? Like, oh, you were young. You did mention, yeah, you didn't have the tools.
I didn't really know. Like, I know, like, I wouldn't really call him. But when I went back home, just like, I think it was 2 weeks before he went missing, I used to go back home on holidays pretty much every year, every summer. So this was end of July 2010, just like 2 weeks before he went missing. When I got to Madeira, I was like, oh my God, like, he's really different. He's not the brother that I know. And I had a conversation with him, like, are you okay? Sorry, I'm just shaking. And I looked him in the eyes, and it's like, he had like, it's like I was looking, like his eyes were made of glass. Like, when you can't see through that person's soul, like something was, I don't know how to explain.
Something was blocking.
Yeah, something was blocking. I'm like, this is not my brother. But yeah, that was the last time I spoke to him, but I knew that there was nothing I could say that, because it's a condition. You can't really change it. You have to take the medication. If you don't take the medication, then it's hard.
When you said your brother went missing for 2 years, I'm just trying to imagine if I had a brother and he's missing for 2 years, how I would mentally cope. So I was just wondering how did you process 2 years not knowing where your brother is? Like, how did you handle that?
I don't even know how I.
And you were in London, right?
I was, yeah. I think I was just distracting myself. I was going out a lot, getting drunk, just numbing myself, I think. Yeah, I was, pretty much numbing myself. I had like my sisters who I would speak to. We would like cry to each other. We would like open up with each other.
Okay, so let me just ask you about 2 years and how you said that you coped. Your coping mechanism was to use distractions, keep going out. So you got, you had a bit more drink than you would normally. So let me ask you, in that time, did you ever seek any kind of therapy, or were you guided towards that? Did you feel that you wanted something like that, or didn't think about it at all?
No, I think like the first 3 years, it was just that not knowing where he was.
Right.
So I would just talk a lot with my siblings, like, what do we need to do to try and find him? We would even, ask friends, like, if you see him somewhere, let us know. We're doing everything we could to kind of try and find him because we still had hope that he was alive.
Sure.
We thought, okay, maybe he could have just run away. Maybe he was tired of everything and just wanted to move to a different place and start over. So, I didn't feel like I needed a therapist then. It was only later that, life caught up with me, when I think in 2014 maybe. So 2 years after the funeral, 4 years after he went missing.
Okay.
That's when I started having like panic attacks.
Right.
Started, feeling anxious a lot. I would cry for no reason. Like, So that's when I seeked help and I went to the doctor. And I went to the doctor and I was like, there's something wrong with me. I keep crying for no reason. I'm having these feelings. And then I started crying in front of the doctor, telling him, my issues. And then he just says straight away, you've got anxiety. I need therapy. So then he gave me the option for pills or therapy. And I thought, I'd rather do therapy because maybe I just need to. But I thought I was going to get counseling, but he gave me CBT. So I had CBT to help me deal with my anxiety and panic attacks. I feel like that helped. But in terms of letting out everything that I felt, I've never had any therapy.
You just said something interesting. You said, I thought I was going to have counseling, but I had CBT.
Yeah.
CBT is an approach of counseling.
Okay.
So you've got CBT. So when I said,
Because my CBT, it was just for me to, it was just to analyze, why do I feel anxious? Why do I have panic attacks? It's more like rational, right? And then there was one time that I was feeling quite low that day and I was trying to open up with the therapist and she told me, no, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a counselor. This is CBT. And I'm like, okay.
I'm going to laugh. But why think that everyone coming on this podcast have had bad therapy?
I mean, it wasn't bad therapy. It was just that it was a different...
I'll just explain. So when I first introduced myself, I said I was an integrative counsellor, right? So as an integrative counsellor, I do CBT, I do person-centered therapy, I do psychodynamic therapy, and I do Gestalt, which is another form of another approach, okay? So that all comes under the same umbrella of counselling. CBT is cognitive behavioural therapy. It's just a different type of approach in therapy. Person-centered is a different type of approach. Psychodynamic is just a different type of approach. So when you say this person said, I'm a counsellor, I'm giving CBT.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I felt a bit like...
CBT comes, like you do different things. So sometimes with CBT, you can be given homework to do, sort of like, different sheets that you might have to do to measure your anxiety, how you're feeling, and so on and so forth. But just kind of myself on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling this week? Because I really might have been 8 or 9 the week before. You may have dropped down to maybe 6. Yeah, but it's an improvement nonetheless, So when you doing that CBT, how did you? What sort of things did your CBT person give you? Seeing as they didn't class themselves for counselling.
I think it was just analysing what would trigger my panic attacks, for example. So one thing that I struggle a lot is like rush hour on the tube.
Okay.
So that was like one of my main things. So she would just tell me like, I had to like think what's triggering, So is it there's too many people? Is it because you're feeling hot? Is it because, so it kind of just helped me rationalize my thoughts, So nowadays I can see it coming and I can already kind of like deal with it, if that makes sense. I don't really remember much, to be honest, from the sessions. I know that he helped me, because he helped me understand anxiety and the panic attacks, but that's about it.
How long did you have your CBT for?
Not long, maybe 8 weeks.
About an 8-week session. Okay.
Yeah.
And what? So were you taking some of these things away with you and how to sort of manage them a little bit better? What was things like for you afterwards? How are you feeling after you left those sections and you had to sort of do things and move into a different place where you're thinking, okay, well, I've had some CBT, I've got a few things I can manage with. How did you get on with that?
I think there's always like up and downs, There's moments that I feel good. There's other moments I'm like, I'm having a terrible week or a terrible day. But at least I know how to manage it, if that makes sense. I can see I can feel if I'm about to get a panic attack, and I know what to do not to escalate things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can relate in terms of the panic attack, because when I lost my mom, in 2012 as well, July. What date was your
Well, my brother went missing August 2010, but then funeral was in July 2012.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when I lost my mom, like a month later, I started having panic attacks, and I was like, I went to my GP, like, something's wrong with me. I don't know. I think I'm dying. And she said, you're having panic attack. So I started Googling what that was, and then deep breaths and whatnot, exercises. But also I can relate to when you say, so you said you can feel it coming. So till now, do you get panic attack?
Yeah.
Do you think you were having a panic attack?
No.
Oh.
Now I'm just very anxious because with everything that I've experienced with my brother, I think, my anxiety comes from that.
Yeah.
Especially those 2 years of not knowing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because I get depressed from my mom. So, but now I'm experienced. When I'm having my episodes, I allow it because I feel like, oh, this is me connecting with my mom. I'm like, okay, my mom, at least I'm sad now because of you, and I move on and I'm happy. So every time I'm depressed, I actually like it, but because I'm in control now, so I don't let it overpower me. I know I'm sad, I will wallow in my room and not talk to my friends, ignore their messages for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then when I'm ready, I'll be like, all right, it's back, time to come out, get back to life. And then I'm like, okay, mom, I've missed you, we've connected, but I have that maybe 3, 4, 5 times a year.
He was talking like kind of codes, like he was telling us that something important would happen in 2010 and one specific person would find out.
And even when she talked about her brother, it was not really emotional. She was like, I lost my brother to suicide. Yeah. I was like, what?